Song at Midnight. It's always risky to claim any first in film history, but until someone discovers something earlier, Song at Midnight, 1937, apparently holds bragging rights as the first Chinese horror film. Director Ma Su Weibang, 1905 to 1961, started out as an actor in the Shanghai film industry in the silent era, quickly making the transition to directing. He scored his breakthrough commercial success with Song at Midnight, clearly inspired by Lon Chaney's silent 1925 Hollywood version of The Phantom of the Opera, itself based on Gaston Leroux's 1911 novel of a disfigured mystery man in the Paris Opera House, or perhaps by the 1929 sound rejiggering of Chaney's masterpiece. While the setting, the plot, and even a few specific shots are similar, Ma Su adds several new elements and changes others. Leroux and Chaney both had the Phantom deformed from birth, but Ma Su added a detailed backstory, told in a half-hour flashback about a third into the film, that changes the Phantom's tragic nature. In this version, stage performer Song Danping is a handsome young man in love with Li Xiaoxia, daughter of a local big shot. When evil romantic rival Tang Jun has nitric acid thrown in Danping's face, disfiguring him horribly, Danping insists that Xiaoxia be told he's dead. Unfortunately, the news drives her insane. Whereas the original story had the Phantom coaching a young woman with whom he is also in love, women were still rare on the Chinese stage. So Song at Midnight has him coaching a young man, whom he hopes will become his surrogate with Xiaoxia and restore her sanity. The movie was produced during a period of complex political struggle in China. Admittedly, any period in Chinese history during the first half of the 20th century could be described that way, and the flashback adds a political element to the mix. Danping has a propensity for revolutionary nationalist rhetoric, while Tang Jun is a landlord. Ma Su portrays Danping's final sacrifice as a lesson to the younger generation about resistance and revolution. Song at Midnight has had a lasting influence. Ma Su came up with a sequel in 1941, and shortly after his death, both installments were remade for Shaw Brothers by his former assistant Yuan Kuai-feng, with the English titles Midnightmare and Midnightmare, Part 2. Most famously, Leslie Chung starred in a beautifully made 1995 version, directed by Ronnie Yu, Bride with White Hair. Ma Su's influence may well have stretched to the West. In MGM's 1943 Technicolor Phantom of the Opera, Claude Rains's Phantom is, like Danping, scarred by acid, while it might seem unlikely that anyone involved in the Hollywood production would have had access to Song at Midnight. What with the Japanese occupation of Shanghai in World War II, it seems even less likely that this could be mere coincidence. Andy Klein,